have to remove myself from that enticement. Because if I don't do that, I'm left to my own devices. And then I would be in a position where I knew I would be in a trade where I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't. That's not why I do what I do. I do it because I want to hear my grandfather tell me, "You done well. I'm proud of you." And there's a lot of things I've done over the years as an educator and a teacher that I'm not proud of. And I know that if he was able to see me and had seen what I've done or said some of the things I've said through ego, he would tell me that wasn't something that I would be proud of, or he would be proud of, which would scar me. But left to my own devices over the last 2 weeks, I would have easily had an extremely low strike rate. Tom Hugard in private here and there. And I told him, I said, I would have had about a 12% strike rate. If we were being honest and we were sitting at a pub, not that I go to anything like that, but we were just hanging out, he and I told him, I said, I think honestly, knowing myself, I would have had about a 12% strike rate, which would have been abysmal. Hard. Me knowing my tendencies, knowing how I'm going to interpret the climate, the environment, the ideas that I know are going to jump up in my head and say, okay, here's where you want to shine, ICT. This is where you want to go out there and show everybody else that they can't get on your level. When this thing's doing this, you do it. I know that about me. I've done it for years, decades. I've done it. But there's something different about this now. We have so many things about this now. We have so many things looming in the horizon that can wreck these markets instantaneously. And I know that's coming. I know it is. And most of you, even without me saying so, you know it too. But it's not a deterrent enough for you to say, well, I'm not going to take any, I'm not going to not take a trade right now because I see everybody else doing it. So I got to do it. I'm 50 years old. I don't look at everyone else and say, I want to do that because they're doing it. I look at my history, the human things I've always wrestled with. And I know that every single time I've hurt myself, it's because I wanted to do something that was not asked of me in times where I should have done nothing. And I knew better. And now not because I'm up, and this is how I opened this up in the beginning of this Twitter space. I said that, I'm not obligated to you. As a reminder, I'm not saying it to be condescending, but I'm not obligated to you. And I'm reminding myself that I don't have to do anything for you. But I love doing it. And there's a line that gets blurred sometimes because I listen to people that you all tell me not to listen to, but I want to help them because they don't believe either what I'm doing or what I teach, despite people making fortunes with it and crediting their success to the things that they learn from me, which I'm so thankful for. And I've converted a lot of people to this school of thought, not because they like me, because there's people out there that are making money to say my name. They don't want to give any kind of credit to it. And they like to say it's always been there, but they're still using my vernacular, my terminology, and my concepts. That's the thing that gets under my skin. That's what frankly pisses me off and causes me to be the abrasive ICT. And I don't like being that person. I don't like being a drag for the students who are here to try to learn. But I'm sharing this because I want you to know that you're going to go through this. Not me, ICT. I'm not like you. I don't have to listen. Start making money. Start making money and start noticing people out there doing things that are nonsensical. Like things that make no sense at all. And they're in there saying that they're this and they're that. They can do this and they can do that. When you know better, and you're quietly doing it on your own, and you're doing things that they would never believe, then you'll think differently. Get in that condition where maybe you didn't foresee the difficulty in the price, and now you're in it, and you just know that that trade that you're in, it just simply will not move. But it hasn't gone to your stop loss, but it won't move. It's giving you every indication it's not going to go for you, not in the manner that you want in terms of profits. It's probably going to go for your stop, but what do you do in that situation? Well, I can tell you, as a young man, I was many times praying, God, please let this trade not stop me. Please let this trade go to my profit, and I promise I will stop trading. But I wasn't saying about overnight trading Globex. I didn't say anything about that. So technically, I was being honest. But as soon as we cross midnight, I'm going to go right back at it again if he gets me out of it. And many times that prayer went unanswered, and I got stopped out. And I knew I should have got out of the trade, but I wouldn't take it off. What's the problem with that? And I hope you can appreciate me using my own examples and not talking where you can feel victimized because you've gone through this yourself. But I want you to reflect on how you've endured this and what you were doing and what you were thinking, what you were dismissing as, no, that's just me not being patient for the trade. That's not me following a model. So I got to stick to my plan, my trading plan. Got to push my edge. See, when I was in those environments and in those trades, I didn't want to get out because I was afraid if I got out, I'd be wrong. And you probably hear YouTubers or see people type it out in their Discord rooms, their Telegram channels. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, whatever medium they would use, or maybe a Twitter space like this. And you hear them or read them say, I know as soon as I get out of this, it's going to move. When they say those things, they're channeling ignorance. They're manifesting it. They're basically showing you their cards that they don't know what they're doing. Because if they did know what they were doing, it wouldn't matter if they got out and it moved. When I was a younger man and I fell victim to this, I was afraid to get out of the trades, even though I knew they were against me. The probabilities have shifted. Are you aware of it? While you're in a trade. That's what I'm teaching you. Those lessons can't be taught through a paragraph or a tweet with 130 characters or less. I can't do one single video and say, here it is. It's condensed in a nice little neat, easy ICT, real fast 5-minute trainer. The easiest way to do it, never have to worry about it again. That's the new flavor right now. You're not going to get it that way. You can't get it that way. It's something that has to be endured. Certain lessons have to be walked, and you have to feel it. You have to have that uncertainty. You have to know what it feels like to be in that environment and how you react in it. Some of you won't have these instances where you feel powerless to get out of it. You'll think, okay, this isn't working anymore. Let me just kill the trade. That right there, that is excellence. I wish I had that when I was younger. I didn't. I did not have that. I had no one telling me, like I'm telling you right now, listening, that's what you want to do. Believe me when I tell you that is the answer. That's the solution. That's the thing you're supposed to do. And you're also indifferent to what happens after you get out. It's a bad relationship. What makes people go through all the turmoil after they break up with someone? When it's a bad relationship and you break up, the person or persons spend all that time afterwards when what could it have been if we stayed together? If he just would have stayed and ventured out and did something else. If she would just understand me, you're doing something that isn't going to result in anything except for misery. So why do the same thing in your trading? That's what you're doing. You're recognizing, whether you realize it or not, even if you're new, you just know something's wrong. You are, but you won't admit it. Just like I couldn't admit it. My grandfather recently passed away at the time when I started. So I get all of this pressure placed on me as a young man, lost my father figure, lost my first wife, and I had something to prove. So I had all the most amazing disadvantages going into this. Plus, I hated where I was in life. So I know what it's like to feel pressure to change the way you are and where you are and how you live. I know what it's like to grow up and not have that family element supporting you. I know. Even being successful like I am now. For decades, my own mother didn't care. At some point, it doesn't matter. I don't worry about my mom. I don't worry about my father who's in prison I'll never be able to spend time with. They weren't supposed to have children. I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be aborted. But because a threat by my biological father, my mother gave birth to me and never raised me. You can have all of your disadvantages, all the excuses of why you think you won't be able to do this, and it's all a lie. That's something for you to reach for because you don't follow the rules. Because when I don't follow the rules, I fail. I can fail just like the newest person that starts in this. If I don't submit myself to the rules and engage when I'm supposed to engage and not engage when I'm not supposed to engage, because I know me. This is why you cannot learn this. You can't learn this in a month. You can't learn it in 120 days. You can't learn it in 6 months. You can't learn it in 1 year. But at 1 year, you get a good foundation. And that's when the real learning starts. And I have never, one time, sugarcoated that. And so many people out there are trying to take what I've taught and still actively teaching. And you're trying to condense it down to something to market it to people for the real fast approach. And I swear to God Almighty, if there was an easier, faster way, I would do it. It would come right out of my lips and it would be done. I wasted time in the beginning doing that. Just like those environments where if you get in a market environment where it's not conducive for a low resistance, butter just slices right through it. No problem at all, going right to where you knew it was going to go. Faster than you were hoping it would do it. That's what I'm teaching you to look for. But they're not every day like that. Those exist sporadically in the right times, in the right settings. And because of all the uncertainty that we're seeing in the world right now, believe me, folks, we are witnessing the largest upheaval in the financial markets and financial systems, plural, globally. There has never been what we're about to endure. So you have to be careful. And I'm trying to be much more careful because of that. But if you get yourself in that situation, you may not believe in God, but somehow those 3 letters will come out of your mouth. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. It's funny. I've listened to Muslims doing live streams and they'll utter his name, which is interesting. What are you doing? You're looking outside yourself and you're resisting the very thing that your conscience is telling you to do. Get the hell out of that trade. You know what's coming. Regret, loss, pain. But you want to arm wrestle it. You don't want to seem weak. I'm going down. They're going to carry me out on my shield. Well done. You blew your account. Maybe not on that trade. But the 6 or 7 trades after that one, that's what's coming. Why? Because you arm wrestled